Cheers! Welcome to MovieBitches. A special episode. Today we're doing a season wrap-up, review, discussion.
Recap? No, not really a recap.
Yeah, recap. Well,
we're not going to get into too many of the this, that, and the other, but just as a general feeling about WandaVision. People were asking. Andrew finally finished watching, and we've got thoughts.
Yeah.
Oh, but first things first.
First things first, shout out to our wine sponsor, Wink. Go to trywink.com/moviebitches. You get $22 off your first month of wine. It was Agatha all along. Second things second, shout out to our Patreon supporters. $5 a month gets you early access. $10 gets you access to our viewing parties. Thank you all so much. Really appreciate it. Third things third, make sure to subscribe, share, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, all those good things. So, WandaVision. Spoiler alert, we're going to talk about the whole season. So if you haven't finished it...
This is not timely.
No. So, if a lot of people might not have watched it. They were waiting to see. I don't know.
So I'll say up front, if you haven't watched it and you like Marvel stuff and you like TV in general, the history of TV, I think it's worth a watch. I think you'll like it.
Yeah.
Did I find it to be ultimately unsatisfying by the end? Yes. But I don't think it's like, oh, fuck it, you shouldn't even bother.
I would say it starts off, the first 3-ish episodes were really kind of fun. And it was very Bewitched film history, Nick at Night, TV land. And I was living my life. And then it pretty quickly turns into just a long Marvel movie.
I was watching it more real time as it came out. So it was there was an excitement of, ooh, what show are they going to kind of make fun of next week? I kind of can't wait. I'm excited. And as the season progresses, the first few episodes are just flat out old TV shows. There's very little peek behind the curtain stuff going on. It is a painstakingly recreated episode of Dick Van Dyke Show, Bewitched, et cetera, et cetera. Yep. And gradually the outside world, outside of whatever is happening, which we'll get into, starts to seep in and funny little things start to happen. I was really into it basically until the last 2 episodes. And then I was like, oh, it became a giant Avengers, which people like. I was just immediately significantly less interested in what was happening. It was just like,
exactly.
I am so here for I don't care at all.
I will say also, we've gotten out of that way. Spoiler alert, we're going to now talk about all of the details of the entire season. For me, I also got really frustrated when it just became that she created this whole world out of pain and emotional processing.
Well, the mystery of it all ended up being not satisfyingly mysterious. Let's say that.
Right.
Where the whole time you're going, oh, what's really going on here? Is this some sort of social experiment? Is this some Stepford Wives shit going on? Is the government controlling her? What's happening? And then ultimately it's like, oh, she was very sad and she created basically, she was in a denial bubble. And because she just loved TV as a kid, that saved her from her horror. I mean, that whole flashback episode, I was like, wow, this is not subtle. Let's open the suitcase full of old TV DVDs. This coming from a person who just finally retired my I Dream of Jeannie Columbia House VHS tapes. I didn't throw them away. I moved them. I moved them to a different place.
I was about to lose it, Avaryl. I was like, we literally have a VHS collection.
Remember Columbia House?
Get ready for a smile on your face.
It's just the right time and just the right place.
Do you remember that? It was like you had to mail in. They had tapes of TV shows and CDs and stuff. and you had to like send a mail, like fill out a thing and say, this is what they'd send you.
Oh my God.
It's like, I'd say tops 2 episodes on a VHS tape, but more like 1.
Of course. Oh my God.
This month in selected magazines, newspapers, and your mail.
I was so into the meta satire of TV history that was going on. And they're all family sitcoms. And so it was going through time and the evolution of America and what are we allowed to show, what aren't we allowed to show. It was sort of, I mean, this is so strange, but it was sort of like how I read the Harry Potter books and I grew up as Harry grew up. Like when Harry was a 6th grader, I was, you know, whatever. And when Harry was graduating, I was graduating because they came out every year. And so it felt like, ooh, we're going through time and evolution. And I was so much more interested in that. And then when it sort of just became a big action dumb thing, I was like, oh, shit.
Your power exceeds that of the Sorcerer Supreme.
It's your destiny to destroy the world.
Yeah. Well, especially with such stupid consequences.
Well, I mean, also, can we talk about how Wanda is absolutely the villain and they didn't really lean in enough to it for me? Like, I would have much preferred if it was Wanda the whole time, you know, and it was like, oh, she's the villain. They should have ended the show with her being absolutely, I mean, I know she's like shunned and they kind of have a scene where they're like, we don't like you very much. And I'm like, she was torturing you for months. I don't think we can just get over this. Like, boo!
She was mind controlling an entire town,
boo!
blinking their minds and separating them from their families. What's happening? Like what?
Once that was revealed, I was like, oh, I don't think I could get over this. Oh, the show really wanted me to just be like, well.
Please help me. You have to stop her.
Stop who?
She's in my head. None of it is my own. It hurts.
And that's what I was saying, where I guess, like, for me, the whole reveal of, like, oh, well, we were supposed to be like, well, her pain made her do it. And I'm like, no, that's so disappointing just as a plot line of, like, oh, the fragile woman needed to bring back her man, and so she couldn't control her powers, and it created this hexagonal bubble.
I
don't know.
think I would have been more interested if the people weren't being tortured. Either make Wanda absolutely a hero, or, you know, whatever, you know, more of a hero, and the government that's experimenting on her, or some outside force that is inducing this to happen, or lean in and just, this is her turn to the dark side, and she's a fucking villain. And
well, I
think
think they might be, because they're like, she's the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, like at the end with like the Hex book. I just didn't think the show had enough consequence for her.
Right.
Like, there's literally like an Incredibles family moment, and we're all gonna be a crime-fighting family. And I was just like, she was torturing people for months and months. Also, you children are imaginary, and she invented you. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about this.
What was frustrating for me, too, was that I was, before I realized exactly where it was going, I was hopeful that there was a potential, because they kept talking about how they were experimenting on Vision, right? And then she took his body, because what's his fuck? The main Hydra, not Hydra.
The main bad guy.
Maybe I only know him from these other movies. I don't know.
He's probably in, you know, like one of Ant-Man and the Wasp, one of the ones I didn't see, maybe, potentially.
Whatever. Actually, Ant-Man and the Wasp was good. I didn't mind that one. I like that one better than some of the others. But
it's like some of them I ran out of time.
You can't catch them all. I know.
They're Pokemon. You can't catch them all. Yeah. Although I will say, as a complete side note, adjacent to this, I finally watched Birds of Prey. Go watch it.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. It's been on my list, and I just haven't gotten around to it.
It's hard R, interesting female characters. It's stupid. It's fun. It's ridiculous. The fighting was like fun. There's like cool set pieces. I was trying to remember like why I didn't see it at the time. And honestly, it was because Ewan McGregor looked like he was awful in it. Guess what? He's the worst part of the movie and absolutely miscast. And it should have been Toby Cabell. And it would have been fucking amazing.
Always Tony Cabell. Toby. Because the character he plays is like this maniacal psycho, and so you're just like, ooh,
Ewan McGregor just really doesn't have the chops to get into the marrow of that character. Anyway, regardless, go watch Birds of Prey. Real fun.
Cool.
Had a great time.
Great.
Anyway,
Love
WandaVision.
I was like, ooh, okay, they were clearly doing something nefarious with Vision trying to capture his energy, which I guess they were. They were making the fake Vision, the white Vision.
That's a thing. That's like a thing in the comics.
Gotcha. So they were doing that, I guess.
Well, they were trying to recreate the Infinity Stone /
Right.
But she was the only one. I mean, I did call it. I forget if it was Endgame or the one before. What was Infinity War?
Right.
War. Anyway, remember I was like, fuck, Scarlet Witch is the most powerful one of them all. She should just take care of everything. And then I was like, oh, I was obviously right. Okay, great.
But I was like, oh, she's going to protect him and then create this bubble to keep him safe from all the other people. And she's fighting off Sword.
Yeah.
And, these people were just... that was the problem was just the collateral damage of all of these people and their lives and tearing apart families. It's like you don't really.
I just couldn't get over it. I couldn't come back from it. Once that was revealed, I was like, oh fuck. They were such good actors when they were blinked out of it, and it just this sadness. It was great to see Emma Caulfield. She was on Buffy forever. She was Anya. She was like the blonde housewife lady who.
Yep.
Had the biggest part of all the blonde housewife ladies.
I have a daughter. She's 8. If you could just let her out of her room. If I could just hold her, please.
But they were so sad when they came out of that.
Yeah.
And I really didn't know. I couldn't move on. But I think, I didn't try to get confused or into the details of the comic bookness of it all. I know that sounds stupid, but for me, I was just trying to watch it as its own thing.
As a TV show?
Yeah, as an independent TV show. And I guess I would just say for me, I was just far more interested in the satire, meta-ness of let's look at TV through history. And
but they dropped that. And then I was bored.
was so bummed when they dropped that because it was the Family Ties episode, but it was like very Full House to me. And I was like, we're not talking about it? Like, we're not talking about it? Okay. Well, we're not talking about it. Okay. But they have twins. We're not talking about it. But anyway, I was so excited because I was like, yes, the next episode is going to be the 90s. I'm so fucking ready. I'm excited. They're going to do like
Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Hello.
Well, I mean, that would have been everything. But if they were continuing the motto of like family sitcom,
right.
I was like, where's Married with Children? Roseanne, give me fucking Step by Step. I don't care. Give me a 90s Home Improvement. Give me a fucking 90s family sitcom. I was so mad, and that they skipped it over to do. I was not ready to revisit Modern Family, even in a satire. I was not ready.
We've all been there, right? Letting our fear and anger get the best of us. Intentionally expanding the borders of the false world we created.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
It was awful. They just seemed to abandon the TV aspect of it so much, and then they were just so consumed with this sword. I just didn't care. And they didn't set up any stakes of why I should care, why I should be rooting for anyone. Because it was like, it's like they were so, we got to keep the mystery of what's going on. And it's like, it's pretty clear that she's just making this all. But why, we don't know. Oh, it's because she's sad. So she's a villain. Like, she's capturing all these people.
She's a villain.
Sword guy is right. They should take her out. Like, this is awful. Like, all of these poor people are being controlled by this crazy woman.
By the end-ish, the only people I was rooting for was Kat Denning and Randall Park. And I loved them. I loved all of Kat Denning and Vision's. Well, because Vision also, he's separated from the family unit for the last 2-3 episodes. Like, for a period of time. Yeah. He is separated from them. It fell apart. Like, it was like the fun camaraderie of all of them interacting suddenly wasn't there anymore, and it was a different show. But I was like obsessed with Randall Park and Kat Denning. I thought they were so fun and funny, and they were the well, I guess, and the Rambeau lady, the Monica Rambeau character, the woman who's like, I'm gonna go save her. I know what she's feeling because her mom, she was the one that was.
Oh
like
yeah.
The main,
of course,
like one of the main characters, right? But her character was sort of, blah, and
It was just like a generic, I'm a hero, I have to do what heroes do and go and sacrifice myself to save the day. And I'm like, okay.
Well, it didn't help because, so she's the daughter of Captain Marvel's best friend in the Captain Marvel movie. And it didn't help that I, really disliked Captain Marvel, the movie, and also mostly forgot about it. So I was just like, what? Oh.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't obviously talked about maybe the breakout.
I mean, the fact that we haven't even mentioned Catherine Hahn yet is, I mean, I wanted to save it, you know? I was like, I gotta save it. Agatha,
But then
it sucked.
The fact that there was an episode that just starts and it's like 1614.
Oh boy.
Here's this weird flashback to this weird witch
really family drama that was very long.
I'm gonna suck everyone's souls out in their magic and turn them into skeletons because I drained all of their power and life force.
Well, they had to set up, I didn't care, but they had to set up that she could not deflect, but she was like a sponge for magic, right? She could absorb any magic. So if you put all your magic towards her, she was just going to become stronger. And they had to really set that up because at the end it was really clever that Wanda did a reverse double switch where she figured out that
you told me to use the ruins or whatever, and now I did it. Cool.
When they were fighting in the sky, I was just like, boo. They used like the actual cameras that they used in the Dick Van Dyke Show. Like they painted Vision blue for black and white because they were so into the details of getting it perfect. And then this CGI, and I was like, boo. After the bum bum ba da 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 Agatha the whole time. Like, I was like, I'm so obsessed with what's happening. I love this weird like, you know, button song at the end. I was just like, yes. And then it was like.
Yep. Also, like, the problem with that, though, for me, was that I had hoped that it was Agatha all along, meaning that she was entrapping, like, that she was
the one. That would have been an easy out, let's say, to, you know, get the guilt or the villainy off of Wanda.
Yeah. Oh, she preyed off of Wanda and tricked her into it or whatever it was. Something. It was like, here we go. She machinated this whole thing. And it was Agatha all along. Ooh, because she was trying to figure out a way to get her claw. I don't know what it was, and they could have developed it more. But the motivations and the plot point of just why this happened was stupid. And so then in the end, I was like, well, this whole thing was inconsequential.
I still had a great time watching the first
4 episodes.
2/3, I would say, of the season for me were fun. But Catherine Hahn, in the first half, 2/3 of the season, she gets the most, let's say, screen time on the show that is whatever show they're doing that week, other than Wanda and Vision. And so you knew something was going on. You know, you're like, there's a reason she's so close to this or something, you know, and then I was so excited to discover what was, and then it was like, oh, okay. Didn't love it.
Oh, she's a witch that just got sucked into this, or that saw it happening and was like, ooh, what's all that power? I want to...
Yeah, that's the sense that I got. She felt the power and then inserted herself into the situation.
But she was there from episode 1.
Well, we don't know how long, you know, that had been. Maybe they did a Honeymooners episode and it just never aired. I don't know.
I mean, I guess. Yeah.
You see, now that would have been interesting to go back that far and dissect TV and what was acceptable then. That would have been really kind of interesting. And the fact that it kept jumping so dramatically every decade.
Or I Love Lucy.
I mean, honestly, I was mad. Or I Dream of Jeannie. I was confused. I think this is obviously a limited series and it's done. But when I didn't know that, I kept being like, wow, they're really going through these decades. They're going to run out of... You know, they're going to catch up pretty quick. Because I was like, oh, what about this? And what about this? And you could have done, you know.
Yeah. Well, I guess that was, for me, like, I thought it was going to be more of the first few episodes. Like, I would have watched a dozen of those. Just, why not? Like, I thought that was so fun. And for me, that was what got me excited. Kind of like what I mean, you and I both liked Rogue One. Rogue Nation?
Yeah.
Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Because it was, I mean, I guess it was still a Star Wars movie. You know, it was very Star Warsy.
It was on a smaller scale. It was
exactly.
We're gonna take a macro lens at this group of people. Well, and that's why this also reminded me very much of how I felt about season 2 of Mandalorian, which you have not watched, because the whole first season is so good. It's small stories. It's few characters. It's the outskirts of the Star Wars universe. It doesn't connect directly to the big hot ticket characters, right? And I was like, yes, this is exactly what I've been asking for. I'm obsessed with this. And then season 2, it was like, we're going to tease a little Boba Fett. And I was like, okay, I mean, I don't need it, but yeah, sure, okay. And then it's like, oh, and we're going to tease the Ahsoka Tano, and we're going to tease this. And then, I mean, I don't know if you care if I spoil the end of it, but let's just say they shit the bed in the last episode. And I just don't need the Skywalkers to always be involved. I'll just say that.
Exactly. And that's where I was like, I was actually kind of excited. I was very excited about the idea of like, oh, this is a Marvel property that includes some of these characters, but it's not them zapping each other with their laser eyes flying around a stupid CGI, town. Like, when this movie turned into Halloween Town, I was like, what's happening? Or this show. It turned into a movie, and it turned into Halloween Town. And I was confused. I was like, why are we doing this?
It didn't ruin it for me. I just was immediately like, oh, I'm less interested in this. I was literally crossing my fingers. I'm like, you don't have to go there, show. You don't have to do it.
Right.
You can still be great. You can save us. And that was the same thing with The Mandalorian. I was going, just don't let it be Luke. Just don't let it be Luke. Don't let it be Oh, God damn it, it's Luke. It's just like, fuck. There's so many characters. Come on. But one of the other things that also disappeared that I missed were the commercials. We didn't even talk about the fake commercials that I loved.
That was so fun, and then it just gone.
Because that was like, wait, is Wanda also making fake commercials? And it was, at least for the most part, it was the same 2 actors, and it was... Then that was now not only are they commenting on television, but they're commenting on advertising in television and how that developed and evolved. And I was like, ooh, this is fascinating. This was like some They Live, again, Stepford Wives. It was really giving me, there's this old movie of a bunch of shorts called Groove Tube, and they're like aping on all these commercials and stuff.
If you want to get closer, kissably closer, get Mouth Appeal. The toothpaste that gets you closer.
Oh, I'm so into this very strange stuff that's going on. Those disappeared as well. And it was just like all of the things I liked were stripped away.
You know what would have been more fun, in my opinion? Obviously, I'm sure this is all in a... Is this show based off of a comic series?
Yeah, this is from a specific book where, yes, she created like a bubble. I don't know how much it stuck to that exactly, but yes, it is based off of.
Gotcha.
I
mean, that makes sense, of course. I'm sorry, I know I'm ignorant. I just don't care. But what I would have preferred would have been if, like, instead
what I would say is, I love that they put Easter eggs for people that know everything about all of the comics. I love that, but I think there needs to be a balance where someone who doesn't know, I mean, I know a lot about it, and I still, some of it goes over my head. I just think you should be able to enjoy it as a show, and also it's added bonus if you know all the little details that are going on.
Absolutely.
So that's what I was saying.
I agree. But what I would have preferred, maybe they were doing the experiment on Vision or whatever, and she had to save his essence or his whatever was there. I don't know. But she uses her little transmutational powers, and maybe like the thing that was nearby was like a film or a TV archive. Like it's all like she like puts his essence into the film reels, right?
Sure.
And that's why then you're like, okay, but why is he in this Bewitched essentially? It's like, why are all of these shows?
It's a ghost in the machine.
That kind of vibe. Wouldn't that be cool?
I mean, I did think that the scene where they like say goodbye to their children at the end was good. That was good. I was into it. And I was like, okay, this could end here. Oh no, there's more. And there's another cut, post-credit scene, and there's another post-credit. I mean, it seems like you need, what do they go, like an index. Wait, now this is what they were referencing from the thing.
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, now this is what and that's from, okay.
I mean, honestly. So I was confused. So Vision and Vision have like a existential moment of like, I can't destroy you because I am you. No, you are me. No, I
am the walrus. You are the Eggman. They have an existential crisis about a boat. It's Schrodinger's cat. I don't know. There was a lot of.
The ship of Theseus is an artifact. Over time, its planks of wood rot and are replaced with new planks. When no original plank remains, is it still the ship of Theseus?
Like, it seemed like if I had really paid 10% more attention, maybe I would have been like, oh!
If those removed planks are restored and reassembled free of the rot, is that the ship of Theseus?
What was confusing to me was that it seemed like they were going to combine, and that the fake vision from the imaginary world was now going to become part of the white vision in the real world and could leave the bubble without dying.
Isn't that what happened? What happened? He disappeared too?
I don't think that is. He just, the white vision just disappeared, and she's standing alone in an empty, non-built house. And I
think, yeah, they didn't want to give us that happy ending, I guess.
They wanted to save it for the, I don't know.
Well, I guess this is going to lead right into Doctor Strange 2, which is going to open up the multiverse, which is going to be a whole new clusterfuck, which will be fun. So then Vision could exist in a different You dig on multiverses?
You dig on multiverses?
Wait, you dig on multiverses?
I will say, I think that was my favorite Spider-Man.
Oh, absolutely. Loved it.
That was something different. I really appreciated that. This isn't just exactly the same. Let's do something
It was great.
new.
Every time I watch a superhero cartoon, I'm like, this is just better. Like, there's something about the action and how they can draw it. You can do anything with animation. And so you're free to explore more. And I think, too, when they do animation, because it's not an actor that you have to keep, it's a voice actor, but there's more freedom to do wild things because in some ways it is kind of a one-off or it's its own thing. Oh, well, that's the animated one. So it's canon, but it's sort of like parallel multiversing, whatever the fuck, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Have I told you about the Harley Quinn HBO show that you should watch?
No.
It's just called Harley Quinn. And it's like,
okay.
I wouldn't say it's hard R, but it's like an adult cartoon on HBO, and it's Harley Quinn. And Lake Bell is the voice of Poison Ivy. Alan Tudyk is the Joker, and he's Clayface. It's really funny. It's really great. You should watch it. You'd love it.
Okay, cool.
But so yeah, there's something about cartoons, I feel like, that it just translates better in my mind. And it's that one degree of separation where you're less like, oh no, that human person died. There's something, oh, it's a cartoon. So you kind of let a little bit more of that kind of humanity go on some level. Yeah. There's a separation. And so, I really liked this. I thought this was so cool and different and really smart of Disney. I mean, it ended up, it wasn't their decision. They wanted Falcon and Winter Soldier to come out first. But I think they're lucking out in that respect. I would still say it was awesome, even though I was disappointed by the end.
I would say that I liked the beginning and then I checked out pretty halfway through. Going back to what we were saying, I guess I also wished, like 3 or 4 episodes in, I was like, oh, I guess this is just a mini series. And I wish that it had been like an actual series and more of just like, and this week on, like Batman used to be a series, or Superman was a series, right? And it's like, what's going to happen this week? And if it was just them and it was, it's Bewitched in another episode, but this week on Bewitched, they're saving...
I'd watch it till the cows came home. Happy Days.
Exactly.
F Troop. I don't care. Give me the weird ones. I'm into it. I would watch. But I think it's too expensive. They can't keep the actors for that long. There's like varying degrees of factors. I think it's the most expensive TV show per episode to date, I want to say.
Well, just wait till Lord of the Rings.
They're making a Lord of the Rings TV show?
Amazon paid $500 million for a season of Lord of the Rings, and they paid him $250 million.
Peter Jackson? Is Peter Jackson still getting a check? Hasn't he told us enough? Weren't the Hobbit movies enough information for us?
All right.
Wow.
But apparently, they're doing a Lord of the Rings series, and I'm like, why? No one cares. $500 million.
I mean, I think
it's crazy.
I think people care. But I'm sort of like, didn't we cover that? I thought we
He
had,
already
like,
made the movies, April.
we've got,
The movies are there.
No, I know, but I do think that people still care. But for me, I'm like, oh, I thought that was just like, oh, and check that off the list. We got Lord of the Rings done, like.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't know who's like, yes, I need a TV show that's going to be what? Like, how is it going to be? You already told the story.
More longer monologues from Treebeard, because that's what was missing from the Lord of the Rings. We're going to get more detailed information about WoW. Well, it's available IP, Andrew. It's famous available IP, and they will mine it.
Well, they paid for it. They paid for that IP.
Well, and we didn't talk about the Quicksilver of it all either. I'm just realizing.
Right.
They had killed...
Did they recast the brother?
I thought that was so fun, and I liked that they were sort of, addressing something that happened outside of the universe or whatever that happened in real life. Oh, we had to kill off that character in Ultron, I think he gets killed off because they were, coexisting in Fox and X-Men, and they didn't own it, and they couldn't, and then I don't know, and there was like a loophole for Scarlet Witch because technically she's a mutant, I think. I don't know. I guess she's a witch. I'm not sure, but I liked that they sort of had fun with that and played with it. But then it felt like, oh, he was just an actor. Never mind. It didn't matter.
You're Ralph Boner?
Boner.
Oh, that sucks. I wish they had... This seemed like the perfect opportunity, because didn't Disney, since hasn't Disney now acquired X-Men as well?
I think so.
So I was like, oh, this would have been the perfect, and we merged the two, concurrent...
Right, because I think the only thing that Disney doesn't have of Marvel's is the Sony Spider-Man.
Right.
Wow. And Venom, like that. That might be my favorite one recently, just because it was so stupid.
Oh, yeah. I want them to either go fully in this direction or fully in that direction. Because I feel like we've had, and it's been great and it's amazing. And they built a fucking empire and a MCU, and I am impressed. But it's a lot of this. It's a lot of, and WandaVision felt like, oh, we're kind of doing something a little. Oh, no, it's back. It's normal again. Oh, okay. Right. And like, wow, how bold to just do, to most younger people, I would assume, a boring episode of Dick Van Dyke with characters that they know. You know what I mean? Like, I was loving it because I was like, oh my God, and that's like the same fucking Ottoman, and like oh my God, they really did it. Apparently they called Dick Van Dyke to like pick his brain about it. I was just like, yes. But I would assume, I don't know, like a 12-year-old who loves Marvel movies watching the first 3 episodes of the season are going,
no idea.
I don't like this.
I have a question.
Yes.
Would you say that you would recognize that Ottoman anywhere?
I'd recognize that Ottoman anywhere.
I know that show you wet anywhere. Mary Poppins.
Well, and the whole conversation about, oh, you're wearing pants to the,
right.
Lemonade luncheon. Oh my God. I was fascinated by all of that.
Say, those pants are peachy keen.
Do you really think so? The other ladies are in skirts. I was worried.
I was very into all of the history of it all, and then it just became a different show at a certain point. I think we haven't even mentioned, I think Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen are great actors. I think they did a really good job. I thought they fit the costumer, the set designers. Like, they did a great job of capturing those eras without it feeling kitschy or too obvious or something like that. Like the costumes were like 80s, but not 80s. It was good. And that's why I was so excited for the 90s episode. And then I was sorely disappointed. We had to have
a flashback to 1614 or whatever.
We had to have, oh my God. Yeah, we had to have a two episode, arc of a big fight in the sky as they throw energy balls at each other. I was like, eh.
So anyway, there you go, WandaVision.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to Dick Van Dyke.
Oh my God, yes. And Catherine fucking Hahn.
And Kat Denning and Randall Park. I thought the side characters were so fun and ended up ultimately being underutilized, and I was bummed.
Yes, agreed. But also still great. They were great.
Yes. Cheers.
Catherine fucking Hahn.